or Roman candles. She did this because she was separated from her husband, but not from her desires. Her sometime spouse, Mr. O'Toole, ran a drinking establishment in Kay, the town high on the slopes of Calf Mountain, and she disapproved of Kay in general, of drinkers in particular, and of her husband most particularly of all. She gave vent to this disapproval by living in isolation with Virgil Jones, far from Kay, from Mr. O'Toole's bar, and from his favorite place of recreation, Madame Jocasta's notorious bawdy house. And every Tuesday at dawn, she carried Mr. Jones's rocking chair to the beach. "Crestfallen," murmured Mr. Jones to himself, with his back to the sea. "Crestfallen, the sea today." The body of Flapping Eagle touched land face upwards, which explains why he hadn't drowned. He was quite near the back of Mr. Jones's rocking chair, and the encroaching waves pushed him ever nearer and nearer. Mr. Jones and Mrs. O'Toole remained oblivious of his presence. It should be pointed out that Flapping Eagle was averagely kind and good, but he would soon be responsible for a large number of deaths. He was also as sane as the next man, but then the next man was Mr. Virgil Jones. There was an extraordinary coincidence involved in the relationship of Virgil Jones and Dolores O'Toole. They loved each other and found it impossible to declare their love. It was no beautiful love, for they were extremely ugly. It was undeclared because each had been so badly damaged by experience that they preferred to nurture their feelings in the privacy of their own bosoms, rather than expose them to possible ridicule and rejection. So they would sit close, but separated by this privacy, and Dolores would sing cracked songs, toothless rhymes of morning requision, while Virgil would talk his lilting elliptical talk, exercising the thoughts and the tongue, which were both too large for his head to hold, and there on the deserted beach was as close as they came to joy. "Whitebeard is all my love, and Whitebeard is my desire," sang Dolores dolefully, to the rhythm of the swaying rocking chair. Virgil, lost in thought, stroked his white grizzled chin and did not hear. "Language," he mused. "Language makes concepts. Concepts make chains. I am bound, Dottie, bound, and I don't know where. Not enough of the ether for the way of Grimus, not enough of the earth for the way of Kay. Moving ping-pong ways in thought between them and you. Dolores O'Toole. Sorrow of the gods. My dear, I was not always as you see me now, the terror of the titty's eye. Once, then, before."
"Early one morning, just as the sun was borning, I, a maiden crying in the valley below,"
wailed Dolores. The insensate eagle was within a foot of the rockers.
"This island,"
muttered Virgil Jones firmly, but under his breath,
"is the most terrible place in all creation. Since we seem to survive and are not sucked into its ways, we seem to love."
He would have reflected further on ritual, on obsession, on the neuroses and displacement activities that exile creates, on age, on entrapment, on friendship and love, on the state of his corns, on the ornithology of myth, and refined and invented thoughts in the peace of Dolores's presence. And she would have sung further until her songs dropped a tear from her eyes, and then they would have gone home. But at that moment, the body of Flapping Eagle came to rest against the perfectly carved rockers of the perfectly carved rocking chair, with the perfectly carved dancers spiraling along them. The chair, thus affronted, stopped rocking.
"Death!"
exclaimed Dolores in terror.
"Death from the sea!"
Virgil Jones didn't reply, having a mouth full of the sea which had lodged in Flapping Eagle's lungs. But he, too, as he breathed life back into the stranger, was alarmed.
"No,"
he said eventually, willing himself and Dolores to believe it.
"The face is too pale."
A remarkable fact about Flapping Eagle's arrival at Calf Island. The island dwellers, who shouldn't have been too surprised at his arrival, found it highly disturbing.